Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Fletcher Nelson. I'm a third grade teacher in Minnesota, and it is Tuesday, January 19th. It was our first day having all students back in person at the same time. We've been hybrid for the last 3 months, so it was super exciting to have everyone back today. They were so pumped to see their friends in another group who they haven't seen since October, but it also felt like the first day of school again, like just the excitement part, and then just having to like reestablish routines and procedures because things have been a lot different when we've been in hybrid. I am lucky I only have 18 students in my class this year, so I was having 9 kids each day, twice a week. So it was only having 9 kids in here. Some things just were a little bit more relaxed, and we're gonna just have to reestablish those routines and procedures that we had going on before we moved to hybrid. But it's gonna be awesome to have everyone back. Normally I would be spending time right now like recording my Seesaw videos to send out to them the next day, and I would have had to have had all their work prepared and prepped, and it's so nice not having to worry about that and like pack their backpacks up with all the stuff and make sure they have everything because they'll be back here tomorrow. So that part is awesome. Also, I left my camera at home today, so I'm trying this on my phone. So hopefully the video quality and everything is fine for today. But anyways, I'm just gonna kind of share a little bit about what we did, and I'll actually have stuff to talk about each day since it's not the same lesson plans 2 days in a row. Like I said, it felt like the first day of school, so our principal even told us like, give the kids time to socialize with each other, to play with each other. He's like, you know, soft starts, soft ends to the days. Don't worry about getting through all the content in the lessons you normally would in a full week, because obviously they're going to be so excited to see each other, and you're going to need to go over those routines and procedures, and you want to, you know, celebrate them all being back and be excited and have fun. So we definitely did that. Like, they had a lot of time to just kind of hang out and talk and just visit, which they needed. But here are a couple of the things that we did today, since we didn't, you know, do a full day's lessons worth of work. We created this chart together very quickly just to, you know, go over expectations and reestablish some of those routines and procedures. Just our morning routine at the carpet. Again, carpet, we're spread out, but there's still 18 people and not 9. Just reminders of the hallway and the bathroom. And then, yeah, so we did that just to, like I said, to kind of start the day and just to hang this up to reflect on and refer to throughout the week. Our books this week are Animal Journeys, and we read Hachiko, but my coworker, we share the books, so he has it next door now. But that book is awesome. It is based off of a true story, so we read that book. If you haven't read it, highly recommend it. These are the ones we'll be reading the rest of the week. So we'll have North, so Arctic Migration. Yeah, so our Animal Journey books. Hachiko, though, also there's a movie that's based off of it as well. And when it was indoor recess today, so we watched that movie, so that was great. Otherwise, I still read some of Percy Jackson. We've been reading that book. I've read 2 chapters today, and they're pretty long chapters, but I didn't read them last Friday because we had that day completely distanced, and it ended up being that snow day. So I didn't come into school. And then yesterday we didn't have school, so they wanted me to read 3 chapters to make up for it, but I said I will do 2. I can't sit there and read for that long. My voice would get way too dry. So yeah, so we did that. Otherwise, we played some gym kits, and like I said, it was a very slow, relaxed start back into things. So I'm curious to see. I bet they're going to be tired tomorrow because they're used to having a day to sleep in after they've been at school. So I will check in tomorrow and let you know how this goes. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. No, Wednesday, Inauguration Day. Second day back though, so it feels like a Tuesday. Honestly, it was another great day back. It feels so good to have them all here. I wasn't as tired as I thought I would be, and they didn't seem to be either. We continued to work on a lot of those routines and procedures, and blurting was one that I hit hard today. I just told them we have these think sheets for like minor things, just to allow them to stop and process what they did and like why they shouldn't have. And so I told them, I'm like, I'm going to be pretty strict today. Just if you blurt, I'm just going to point and then just go fill one of those out. And that's just me. I want you to be stopping and thinking about and recognizing that you blurted. Where if I just say, hey, or like ask you to stop, you don't always, you know, really realize it. So I was like, it's not like you're in trouble or anything. I'm just going to do it so we can nip the budding, or nip, well, you know what I'm trying to say, stop the blurting right away. And they honestly, in the morning I did quite a few right away, and then we just got the hang of it, and it was much better as far as blurting than yesterday. So I'm hoping to continue that the rest of the week so we don't have to have that be a struggle anymore. But Inauguration Day, so we did spend some time talking about that today. I found a YouTube video that did a great job just kind of talking about the history of the inauguration and like why we have them and why it is, you know, the date wise when it is. So we watched that just to know what the inauguration was, and then we listened to the book Kamala Harris Rooted in Justice to kind of learn more about Kamala, because obviously she's the first female vice president, she's the first black vice president, and then the first, was it Pacific Islander vice president as well? Asian American, sorry, to hold the position as vice president as well. So we read that book just to kind of learn about her life as a childhood, her growing up, the struggles, some of like the challenges she faced, and it talked about like her childhood and how her parents were always people who stood up for civil rights and social justice and went to protest. So she grew up knowing she wanted to serve others and help others, and it was a good book. It was a long one, so we did split up into 2 chunks. We just listened to it on YouTube because I did not have the actual copy of the book, so definitely recommend that one, because that was a really cool way to introduce her and just kind of, you know, highlight the accomplishments and like let my students recognize like, hey, she's the first female, but she's not going to be the last. Like we're gonna have a female president someday. We haven't yet, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And we had never had a vice president, and we have now, and there's going to be more in the future. So that was really cool. They I don't know, just sparked some good conversation. And after that, we read the Scholastic News together, and the first part was about the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and like the inauguration, and just kind of get a little bit about the inauguration and just about some of Biden's, what probably will be announced as his goals. I haven't got to watch the inauguration yet because obviously I was here. And then also just talk a little bit about how Kamala made history. And then the next part kind of tied in Monday with being MLK Day. So we read about him and just had some 5 facts that you might not have known about him. And that part led to some awesome discussion. I didn't really hit on that yesterday, just with it being our first day back. I honestly, it's gonna sound really bad, so don't take this in a bad way, but I just forgot to even kind of bring up the discussion and talk about MLK, just because we were just back and getting into the routine of things, and all the excitement of that just was overwhelming. But today we read this together, and they had just awesome discussions, and we talked about how he was hated back then because what he was doing was against the law, and they kind of talked about, like, had questions and like, well, why did people think that, you know, whites and black people need to be separated anyways? And we kind of went back to the whole history of, because we had talked about Christopher Columbus earlier this year, so we talked about, you know, went back to like, okay, I remember the Europeans came over here, they took the land from the Native Americans, well then they ended up bringing people from Africa and selling them as slaves, and so white people just thought they were better than them. And it just, I was, you know, pretty just honest about it, and it led to just really good discussions. And then they kind of made connections to what, you know, went on this last summer, and we talked about how, you know, racism does still exist. Like, yes, our schools are no longer segregated, but there's still a lot of racist people out there, and we need to be aware of that, because then we can help end it. And if we just act like it's not there, then it's not going to go away. So this article right here led to some awesome discussions. And also, I just, like, when I was growing up, it seemed like that happened so long ago. So I just brought up the fact, like, he was alive and he was killed when my parents were alive. So it's not like this was that long ago. So again, it just was some really good discussions, like things that you can't really plan for, but once you start talking about them, they just have these great questions and comments that lead you to, I don't know, just those teachable moments and those good discussions. So it was, I don't know, I was really proud of them for, you know, taking it seriously and making those connections and asking the questions and feeling comfortable enough to ask those questions. So yeah. Anyways, I've already been talking for over 5 minutes, so I think I'm just going to kind of wrap it up there. That was the good majority of our day. We obviously still did some other stuff for math and reading, but you know what? Those are the things I'm most proud of today. So I'm going to go from there. And happy Inauguration Day, and hopefully the next 4 years are awesome. So cheers to that, and I'll see you all tomorrow for Thursday. Okay, bye. Hey guys, happy Friday. I did not hop on yesterday. I had a meeting after school. We have this tutoring thing that we normally do that goes from like 3:30 to 5, Monday through Thursday, and it's free for students to do, so they can, if their parents sign them up, they stay after school. We, you know, take them outside for like a half hour, give them a snack, and then we just do a little bit of reading and math practice. So I normally am one of the teachers for that, but we haven't done it this year with COVID, but we got the approval to start it, so that's gonna start next week. So we just had a meeting about that. So after I got done with that, I just kind of forgot about checking in at all, so here I am. Officially survived the first 4 days back, having all my students here. It was, like I've been saying, it was great. The kids have been so excited to be back. I am very exhausted just transitioning in, but the nice part has been not having to worry about like the prep piece. This is the first Friday I've actually worked like with kids since October. When we were hybrid, this was our work day to plan and whatnot, which was an awesome, I loved having that day. But obviously there's not as much prep with in person just because I don't have to have stuff ready every single day to send them home. So that's been really nice, not having the prep piece. Another thing that's been nice is not having to worry like if kids aren't understanding something or if I don't get to something. Because when we were hybrid, if we were doing a math lesson and the kids were kind of struggling, I already knew what they were going to be doing and sending home, so they had to understand it because they were going to be doing it at home on their own the following day. Or if we were like, if math took longer and we weren't going to get to our writing, then I already had their writing assignment for the next day. So I always had to make sure we were on schedule, and just always felt the pressure to, you know, make sure everything went perfectly and to get it all done. So it's nice because yesterday our math lesson, we were doing fractions on number lines, and I made the mistake of thinking we could identify just regular fractions and mixed numbers in the same day, and no, that was not a good idea. So we ended up just doing regular fractions, so I had the number line with like the 0 and the 1, and then identifying the fraction. That when we just did that part went great, and then today we did mixed numbers. So, but I was able to realize I needed to split those up. So it's been nice not having to worry about what they'll be doing the next day because I'll see them again. But yeah, so it feels good to be back. I'm excited to get more into a routine next week with like our actual lesson structure and all that good stuff. We really eased into it this week. Gave them time to interact and just kind of socialize with their friends who they haven't seen. I did not do nearly as much academics as I do in a normal week, but like I said, my principal kind of said, like, you know, give the kids that time, like they need it. You can't just bring them all back and expect them to jump into where we were in October. So we, you know, spent time reviewing routines and procedures. We, you know, time for free choice and to play games with each other and all that fun stuff. So all in all, felt good to be back. One thing we did spend quite a bit of time on was like our reading stamina. So when we're doing read to self, and I don't know why, but just recently I've been started asking my kids like, hey, how long do you guys want to read for today? Because normally we would just read for 20 minutes, and I started this in hybrid, and they've been saying like 30 minutes, like, and I'd be like, okay, before 30, let's try 25. And then so we were doing 30, and then the other day they wanted 35. And they do really well with it. Today we didn't have a lot of time before we were going to have to transition to math. So I just put 20 minutes on the board because I put a timer so they can see. Started it, and when it went off, they were like, what? That was like 5 minutes. And so it was just kind of cool seeing that since we've been practicing that, and I've been like letting them have some of that ownership for how long we read, that now when we do 20 minutes, it feels like it just flies by for them. So that was kind of a win. So maybe try that with your class, because I know if I would tell them, hey, we're gonna read for 35 minutes today, they would be maybe some groaning. But when I've been asking them, they like coming up with a challenge and proving they can do it. So it's been kind of cool to see. So anyways, that's that. I'm gonna get out of here, head home, and tune in next week to see how our first full week back goes, and actually trying to do some of our normal academic stuff and ease them back into being at school all day and not doing the breaks and the, you know, as much socializing. Obviously we'll still do that, but you know what I mean. Getting more back on track. Anyways, I'm rambling, so have a good weekend. Bye.